No, don't do it. Um, and they could have been in an institution.
Yeah,
Or
100%.
on the flip side, they could have just been labeled as weird and super smart, and they could have had Asperger's.
I
You see
was
what I'm
labeled as
saying?
weird my entire childhood.
Me too.
So,
Unite.
uh, which
But
I
I'm just
think
what I'm
that,
trying to say is that like you might not see the link, but there could be a link somewhere
right.
because it could be someone who is quote unquote high functioning that may or may not have what used to be classified as Asperger's, which used to be classified as just being weird, but now
Yeah,
is classified as level 1 autism. Do you see what
right.
I'm trying to say? The classifications have changed because our knowledge has
Be-
changed. Therefore,
Ready?
we have to
Segue.
change. Oh, sorry.
Segue. Um, so I know a lot of people are concerned with vaccines and the rise of autism.
Yes.
Uh, can you shed any light on on this for us?
Yeah. So, basically, science speaks for itself. CDC, World Health Organization, American Academy of Pediatrics, and yes, I'm looking at my paper because I want to make sure I'm saying them right, have said that vaccines do not cause autism. Okay. So there was a article that was put out there a long time ago that was debunked. They
Right,
debunked it and said it was not accurate. And for some reason, it keeps coming up. It keeps coming up. It keeps coming up that vaccines cause autism. But here's the number one thing. Here's the number one thing. My point. Okay. And this is the thing that I harp on day after day after day after day. Back in the day, we did not know the difference between autism and an intellectual disability, which we called mental retardation back in the day. Now we call it a
right,
cognitive. We don't even call it intellectual disability. We call it a cognitive disability because the classifications change because
right.
we become more educated. We start to understand things more. Oh, this person does not have something going on in their brain which causes
Yep,
them to have a cognitive impairment.
yep. Science
So there's
changes, new technology comes out, and we
absolutely.
understand it better.
So is there a rise in autism? Yes and no. Yes, because we are defining it different and we are categorizing it different, but no, for the same reasons.
And there are more people alive on Earth. So,
And and because of early detection, people are saying, I see something different here. And because
right,
people have more access to healthcare, whereas back in the day, they did not, or they were just like, hush, hush, we don't talk about it. It's
right,
fine. We don't talk about it. We sweep it under the rug.
right.
Where now we're like, no, go get help. Like, it's
Yeah,
okay. So, because of
yeah.
acceptance, because of medical technology, because of all of the things, yes, there's a rise in it, but it's not because of vaccines. It's not
Yeah.
because of the food we eat. It's
It's because
because
and because we're removing the stigma from it also. We're starting to remove the
exactly,
stigma from it. You
exactly.
know, there are those for me, this is something that I completely uh, it makes me smile. Um, there's a thing that came out uh and it was kind of tongue in cheek, but there's a thing that came out where a guy said, "Oh, you do realize all the founding fathers were autistic, right?" And he was like, "What do you mean all the founding fathers were autistic?" He goes, "How about John Hancock?" And he was like, "What about John Hancock?" He goes, "He wrote his signature huge." He goes, "Yeah, hyperscript is like
Hmm.
actually pretty big in the autistic community.
Or
If you
teeny
write your
tiny script. I've had kids that write teeny tiny script
right,
sometimes.
so you know, and he like lists like a bunch of aspects of autism that kind of, and you know, it's kind of going back and ascribing these things to people.
Hmm.
You shouldn't do that, but it's
No.
they fit the bill. You know what I mean? It's one of those
Yeah.
things like Benjamin Franklin is one that would definitely fit the bill if
Fits
you
the
go back,
bill.
if you look backwards. So it's kind of one of those things to where like it's it makes you think, if you will,
It
that
definitely makes you think.
it's been around longer than what people realize, and it's
Yeah, it's not new. It wasn't
yeah,
just like, poof, this happened. And that's the
yeah,
thing is they're like, oh my gosh,
and
autism came out of nowhere. No, it's been here. We just
yeah,
didn't
and
label it that way.
and like that with the one of the things was the polio vaccine for me, that just kind of makes you shake your head. Like the polio vaccine's been around for 100 years.
Right.
People do realize that, and like if it was going to cause massive amounts of autism, it would have been doing it for 100 years. Like it's
Hmm.
not just going to start
Right.
now.
Right.
So
100%.
it wouldn't make sense for it to just
Right.
change all of a sudden,
Absolutely.
in my opinion.
So there's a whole history, and again, like I taught at the University of Toledo as an undergrad, or actually not as an undergrad, but anyways, I taught at the University of Toledo. Um, I taught an undergrad class. Thank you. Got it out. Thank you, brain.
Yeah,
But there was a whole shift in the movement of disability studies and disabilities awareness. It was basically in the 70s,
thank you,
and
Titan, for the hard me.
uh, deinstitutional deinstitutionalization, which is a hard word to say, but just so much information. There was such a boom in the 70s of all the information that we started to know and understand. And it's a great time period if you're
That's
really
true, baby.
interested in disability studies and disability studies awareness to really look into it and dive into it. And there's a whole disability pride movement
Yeah,
as well to look into. And autism is right in there. Might not be front and center because it was more mobility. It was more invisibility versus visible
right.
disabilities. It's all in there, and it's very fascinating.
Yeah,
But it's right in there because, you would have classified someone with autism back in the '60s as someone with mental retardation. That's what they called them, and
right,
now that's totally different. But it's not that it was new; it's just that we labeled it that way.
right,
It's not new. We just called it something different. So when someone says, "Oh, this rise and not," no, it was there. We just called it something different because we
right.
didn't know better. Now we
Yeah,
know better.
different name. Yep.
Right.
So I think you kind of touched on the whole. Uh, I think we both kind of touched on removing the stigmas for this, if you will. So I guess I'll ask here. I'll do this thing. I know you do a lot of charity stuff.
I do.
So would you like to tell us about the charity that you like to uh, talk about on here?
Absolutely. So, starting in 2006, I've done a lot of charity walks, a lot of charity benefits, fundraisers for Autism Speaks. I've also done a lot of educational training on my part through Autism Speaks. And I believe that nationally, they are one of the best organizations to support um, families and individuals with autism as far as education, support, training. And I think that across the board, they are amazing. There are also so many amazing national organizations and local organizations. I know in Toledo we have local organizations, um, but like we have an autism Toledo organization, but nationally that is one of my favorites, one of my go-tos. So if anybody can support them, Autism Speaks is amazing. And again, it is April. It is Autism Awareness Month. So if you can do anything, actually, I think that on Autism Speaks website, they said anything you donate, I think is 4 times. Thank you, Cam and Trey.
Uh,
4 times this month.
and
Go ahead.
what is their website?
Oh my goodness. Thank you. I'm so glad I have this printed out. Hopefully I have the actual. I think it's autismspeaks.org. But let me check. I printed out stuff in case my mind went blank. Autismspeaks.org. try that. If not, just Autism Speaks and you should be fine. Damn it, Trey. What is up? Sorry.
And chat, you guys should pick her up. She's amazing.
And pick up Jedi. He does this every Monday, even though it's Tuesday. We're gonna call it Monday Tuesday. I like that. Monday
Yeah.
Tuesday. Um, Scoop him up. He's amazing. And Jedi, thank you so much. I feel so incredibly blessed that you asked me to be here tonight. I
Yeah.
really do. I really do.
Yeah. I'm grateful that you decided to help us on such short notice.
Absolutely. That's what I'm here for. I'm blessed. I am very blessed, and I'm just really grateful to know you.
I'm grateful to know you too, Cami. You are a wonderful soul. I hope you know that.
Oh, amazing. Thank you so much, my love. You too.
Yep. You have a
So we heading
wonderful.
out?
Yep. You have a wonderful evening.
All right, you too. All right, chat. I'm heading out. It is 8:39. Time for your girl to go to bed. Love y'all. Good night.
Night. Now what do we do, chat? That's Cami. She was lovely.